Somebody said it looked a lot like a 1950s airline logo. And I was like, I kind of see that. There's Breonna Stewart. I can't make heads or tails of what that shit's supposed to be. Asia Wilson. Okay.
Nike just exposed the biggest betrayal in the WNBA, and they used two simple logos to do it. For months, Aja Wilson played the victim, subtly criticizing Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise, while the world sympathized with the overlooked champion. But it was all a calculated lie. While the drama unfolded, Wilson was secretly cashing in, having already been working on her own signature shoe deal with Nike for 2 years. This is the story of that hypocrisy and the cold-blooded business decision that officially crowned a new queen.
So this just happened a few minutes ago, and it was a long time in the waiting. Many fans were wondering where Nike has been with any Caitlin Clark merchandise whatsoever, but developing a signature logo and a signature shoe does take time. So without further ado, here is Caitlin Clark's official Nike signature logo. There is a statement that says, Caitlin's signature logo pulls you in like her game. It features interlocking C's. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the...
For months, a single agonizing question echoed across social media, sports forums, and podcasts. Had Nike completely fumbled the biggest star in a generation? Caitlin Clark had arrived in the WNBA not just as a player, but as a cultural tidal wave, shattering viewership records and selling out arenas on a nightly basis. The demand for her was insatiable. Yet, from Nike, the very brand that had secured her with a jaw-dropping $28 million deal, there was an unnerving, deafening silence. As weeks turned into months, the anxiety among her supporters grew into a full-blown panic.
I've been telling y'all to stay patient. I've been telling y'all that Nike takes their time, that Asia Wilson's shoe deal was 2 years in the making, that Paige Beckers had PEs, not her own signature shoe, and that Caitlin Clark's was 100% coming. And people kept saying, oh, Nike fumbled the bag with Caitlin. It has to get out there. Nike fumbled the bag. No, they didn't. It takes time. She's got to develop a whole freaking product line. But they just announced, breaking news right now, we have a logo. That is the official Caitlin Clark Nike logo. And it's not just that. I mean, this is cool. Nike has just announced that a signature product line will be dropping soon, with signature shoes coming in 2026. Now, this is going to be her logo for all of her Nike stuff that is Caitlin Clark official stuff, just like we have the Asia Wilson line, where she has her logo on all of it.
Fans were desperately refreshing Nike's website, begging for merchandise, for a jersey, for anything to represent the new face of the league. All they found were crickets. The narrative began to cement itself into the public consciousness. Nike, the undisputed titan of sports marketing, had inexplicably dropped the ball. They were letting a once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity slip through their fingers, and the criticism was becoming relentless.
All right, subtle commercial, nothing too crazy, no big bang. But here we go, folks. If we look at this right here, this is the Easter egg I'm talking about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 billboards. 8 billboards. October, December, November, January, February, March, April, May. The start of the WNBA season. Is that when these shoes are going to drop? Is that when these shoes are going to drop in May? We know that come October, we're going to get some merchandise. We're going to get some apparel. But the shoes, they said, coming soon in 2026. How soon? May 2026?
Then, with the suddenness of a lightning strike, the silence shattered. With a single, strategically dropped social media post, Nike unveiled Caitlin Clark's signature logo, 2 interlocking C's, a design so clean, bold, and instantly iconic that it felt destined for greatness. This wasn't just a design, it was a cultural earthquake. The navy and yellow logo t-shirt that launched alongside it didn't just sell out, it triggered a digital stampede that crashed Nike's entire website within minutes, a catastrophic success usually reserved for the most legendary Jordan releases.
So a lot of people spend a lot of time and money and resources to be able to have an opportunity to come watch this team play or come watch me play. And, I certainly understand that. And I try to make as much time as I can to sign an autograph because that can really impact somebody's life. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're going to put that up in their room and look at it every single day and have something to dream about and something, that they want to be one day. And, being able to do that and take, like I said, 10 seconds, like it's the little things that really go a long way that impact young kids. So it's not something I take lightly at all.
The internet went into a frenzy. Industry insiders, who had been scratching their heads for months, were suddenly floored. Projections immediately began flying that Clark's future shoe line, slated for a 2026 release, could become a monolithic $150 million franchise. In one calculated move, Nike didn't just re-enter the conversation, they completely and utterly owned it. But what many failed to realize was that this monumental success wasn't just a product launch, it was a declaration of war.
Celebrate her logo debut with this soft cotton logo tee. And you know what's interesting about this design? It does look like they are interlocked, but if you kind of like squint your eyes, it also kind of looks like a very dimensional one C in front of the other one. I don't know if that's just me. According to Nike, the shirt is available, but it's not available just yet, but you can be notified for when it does go on sale. I can only imagine it's going to get sold out.
While the world was celebrating the arrival of a new marketing icon, one person was watching from her throne with a growing sense of dread. A'ja Wilson was, by every conceivable metric, the undisputed queen of the WNBA. A two-time MVP, a two-time champion, and a defensive powerhouse, she was the league's most dominant player. She had been a loyal Nike athlete since 2018, patiently biding her time, working her way up the hierarchy, and waiting for the signature shoe that she had rightfully earned through years of unparalleled on-court excellence.
And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should. But I will say we have to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they have been tweeting about Caitlin more. And then obviously with this shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe. I also heard that Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed report, but they sold out in less than a minute. If that's any indication of what a Caitlin Clark signature shoe will do, I think Nike better continue to get on it and get ready to launch this brand for Caitlin.
From her perspective, this rookie, who hadn't played a single professional minute, was waltzing into the league and being handed the royal treatment it had taken her 6 long years to secure. A quiet but persistent narrative began to build. With Wilson and her supporters voicing their frustrations, they questioned why the league's most decorated and accomplished player was seemingly being overlooked. It appeared to be a classic, tragic tale of a deserving veteran being disrespected in favor of a flashy, unproven newcomer.
I lost all respect for A'ja Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine. Yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time.
But that is where this story takes a shocking, almost unbelievable turn, revealing a level of calculated hypocrisy that is difficult to comprehend. While A'ja Wilson was publicly complaining and allowing the media to paint her as a victim of corporate favoritism, she was hiding a monumental secret. In a now infamous Time magazine article, she and her teammates threw thinly veiled shade at Clark's meteoric popularity, implying it was based on privilege rather than performance. Her supporters rallied behind this narrative, launching attacks against Nike for its perceived bias.
Years, A'ja Wilson truly co-created her new A1 signature basketball shoe and collection to ensure every detail is authentic to her and her community.
And guess who's speaking there? Good old Cheryl Swoops, who's part of Nike and knew the whole time too. So Cheryl Swoops spewing all that crap about Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you knew that A'ja Wilson's going to be coming out with a shoe deal, with a collection and everything.
The truth, however, was a staggering bombshell. For 2 years, 2 entire years, while this victim narrative was being carefully constructed and pushed, Wilson had been secretly co-designing her own signature shoe and collection with Nike. Every subtle complaint, every passive-aggressive social media post was made with the full and complete knowledge that her own massive, multi-year deal was already locked in and on the way. The fight was never about respect. It was a calculated campaign to steal the spotlight and diminish the arrival of her biggest market competitor.
So somebody said it looked like Chanel. I said it looked like Gucci. But whatever it is a luxury sports brand. I can't think of very many luxury sports brands. Guys, yeah, do you like, I'm a fashion guy. And I understand what Nike is doing. Nike is trying to get into the luxury brand style, the luxury department style, almost a little bit getting out of sporting. If they successfully do this, this has never been done. Never.
The difference in how Nike truly viewed these two athletes became painfully obvious the moment their logos were placed side by side. Clark's interlocking C's were immediately hailed as a stroke of marketing genius. Commentators and fans drew comparisons to timeless luxury brands like Gucci or Chanel, recognizing it as a logo designed to transcend the sport and become a legitimate fashion statement. It screamed superstar status and longevity. In stark and embarrassing contrast, when Wilson's A1 logo was finally revealed, the public reception was lukewarm at best.
I think one of the reasons Nike's stock is dropping is how badly they dropped the ball with the female phenom, A'ja Wilson. I think one of their experts should have had more foresight about her trajectory into being the best women's basketball player in the world, and they should have given her a signature shoe probably 2 years ago. Regardless of the sudden burst of media interest in the WNBA, thanks to the likes of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, A'ja is a proven winner and one of the brightest spots in all of basketball. The fact that A'ja's shoe deal emerged into the media after Caitlin's deal was already publicized gives reactionary vibes instead of this.
Critics and fans mercilessly mocked the sparkly star-like design, calling it something you'd find in the clearance bin at a craft store. It felt uninspired, generic, and rushed. The visual disparity was undeniable. One logo was a clear, long-term investment in building a global brand. The other felt like a hastily fulfilled contractual obligation.
Caitlin Clark's signature shoe sold out in minutes. It was here, and then it was gone. Poof. It reminds me of Mike Tyson back in the days. Don't go to the bathroom or the fight is over. You go, girl.
If the logos told a story, the hard data screamed the undeniable truth. Nike isn't a charity, it's a ruthless business, and the numbers behind their decision were irrefutable. Games featuring Caitlin Clark averaged a staggering 1.09 million viewers on national television. Games without her, a mere 414,000. It wasn't just TV ratings. When the Indiana Fever came to town, opposing teams saw their stadium attendance spike by an average of 87%, a phenomenon dubbed the Caitlin Clark effect. The resale market tells an even more brutal story.
It's about time, Nike. Y'all have taken long enough. It should not have taken this long for you guys to get this stuff together. I don't know what the holdup was. Actually, I do believe I know what the holdup was. Y'all didn't want a bunch of people hating and mad and all that. I know. I'm ready for this merch to drop. Cannot wait. The Caitlin Clark merch is going to be absolutely fire. The sneakers are going to be off the hook.
Clark's player-exclusive Nike Kobe shoes sold out in under 5 minutes and were immediately being flipped online for double, triple, and sometimes quadruple their retail price. Meanwhile, reports surfaced that Wilson's shoe launch was artificially propped up. An initial inventory of only 3,000 pairs was released to create the illusion of a rapid sellout, with a restock conveniently planned just days later to keep the hype machine going. The market had spoken, and its voice was clear. It wasn't just choosing Clark, it was building an empire around her.
I really don't understand the need to lie. So there's a hype that A'ja Wilson's shoes sold out in 5 minutes. I did some more fact checking. They only had 3,000 shoes, right? They're actually going to restock the shoe in 2 days on May 8th. Those are the facts. So the shoes aren't technically sold out. What they did was they put phase 1 of shoes to see if they sold. People bought it, and they're going to have another phase 2 on May 8th. So they're not technically sold out. Like, why people lie, bro? And I don't know who bought them.
This entire saga represents something far bigger than a simple rivalry. It's a fundamental seismic shift in the business of sports. For decades, the formula for athletes was straightforward: win championships, prove your dominance, and endorsements will follow. A'ja Wilson is the perfect embodiment of that old traditional model. But Caitlin Clark represents the new blueprint. Nike, in its infinite marketing wisdom, realized that her value isn't just in her incredible talent, but in her gravitational pull. She brings in legions of viewers who have never watched a WNBA game in their lives. She sells merchandise to demographics that the league has never before reached: kids, families, and casual sports fans who are now diehards. She doesn't just play the game, she fundamentally grows the entire sport. By giving her the iconic logo, the record-shattering deal, and the massive, unwavering marketing push, Nike wasn't just investing in a player, they were investing in a cultural phenomenon that could carry their brand into an entirely new stratosphere of profitability and relevance. In the end, Nike's choice was cold, calculated, and undeniably brilliant. They expertly played the board, letting the public drama unfold while knowing all along that they held all the cards. While one star was busy complaining about her seat at the table, the other was building an entirely new, much larger one. A'ja Wilson can keep her hard-earned MVP trophies and championship rings. They are a testament to her incredible skill. But Caitlin Clark now possesses something far more valuable in the modern world: the power to move markets, crash websites, and single-handedly redefine what's possible in women's sports. The logo wasn't just a design, it was Nike's official public coronation of their new queen. The only question that remains is, in this new kingdom built on cultural currency and viral moments, who else will be left in the dust?